everyone. I have got an interview for you today, and it's with the very special Shelly Lefkoe. Hello, Shelly.
Hi, Agnes. It's so good to see you again.
Yes,
Yay.
yes, we had such a great interview. Goodness, how many years? At least five. At least
I don't
five.
know. Yeah.
And we said at some point we'd do it again, and here we are. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited to talk to you about beliefs and also your new book that has come out. So, the viewers on my channel have asked some questions if you are happy to answer some of them.
Happy to.
Okay. Now, let's start with question number one from Josephine. Hello, I have been a big fan, and hello to your guest as well. What do you do when you are interested in manifesting a specific person but do not know them that well and want to get to know them? Should you keep an open mind for other SPs or not put all your eggs in one basket? That's interesting.
I don't understand the question because she wants to manifest somebody,
Yep. She
but
wants to manifest there's someone she's got her eye on, someone specific.
oh, so she wants to manifest somebody she has her eye on asking her out.
Yeah. She doesn't know them well at the moment, but she wants to get to know them. And she said, should she keep an open mind for other people and not put all her eggs in one basket? So, what would your thoughts be on that, Shelley?
Interesting question.
Ah, ah.
Um, Well, the first thing I would do is let him know you're interested. So, I wouldn't wait for him to notice me or whatever. I would go and create a connection, meet him, say hi, start a conversation, and see if there's any spark or if he's interested.
Yes.
Um, and, in terms of being open, you're always open. You tell the universe this or something better. you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that says, make him chase you, make him pursue you, and all that stuff. And I
That
think
ship has sailed.
I agree.
Yeah,
If you like someone, step forward, be honest, be open, and just be playful and enjoy it.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Second question from Millionaire Mom. A good question would be about self-worth, feeling that you're not worthy. How to believe you're special. It's taken me a while, years.
Yeah. So there's a very quick way to do it. And I'm going to tell you at the end of the podcast, at the interview, sorry,
Yep.
that I'm going to give you an opportunity to eliminate a belief for free. And I'm not a big proponent of affirmations and talking yourself into anything. I think once you get rid of the beliefs that you're not worthwhile and you're not worthy and you're not special, you don't have to do anything to get that you are. It will just be. I always say the only person who stands in front of a mirror saying, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, is somebody who believes they're not. Because if you believe
Okay.
you're good enough, you just
Yeah.
do that. So,
Yeah.
my answer is always eliminate the belief that you're not, and
Mm.
you will be.
Yes.
Um, when I got rid of certain beliefs, for me, one of the biggest beliefs that I got rid of was what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me. And when I got rid of that and I'm not good enough, I just became my authentic self. So it's not
Mm.
that I'm worthy or I'm special or I'm anything. I'm just Shelly.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
what you see is what you get. And here I
Yeah.
am. And, if this appeals to you, great. But what I got, uh, Agnes, and what was her name? This question?
Millionaire Mom.
Millionaire Mom. What I got, which is so powerful, is I'm not everybody's cup of tea. nor are you.
Yeah.
And, you want to look for who it is that resonates with you. I'm big and when I work with clients, I'm like, okay, let's go. We're going to eliminate, as many beliefs as possible. And sometimes people come on and, every once in a blue moon, somebody will come to me and, they want to just talk about their problems and I say to them, you can do that in therapy, but
Yes.
with me, we're going to look at what's the
Mm.
belief, where did it come from? We're going to get rid of it. You'll never have it again. And now change is possible. But
Yeah.
that's not what everybody wants,
That's true. That's not what everybody wants. But yeah,
Yeah.
it is, because you want to maximize the time and use the time wisely that they've come to you, whether it's 40 minutes or an hour or whatever. And yeah, I'm glad you say that. It's redirecting people to, let's get on with the work and you're going to feel so much better after.
Yeah,
And
and it's the
that's
same thing with a guy or a partner. You want somebody, my mother, this is perfect. My mother used to say to me, don't tell them you run the company. Don't tell them you've been all over the world. When I was in my 20s and I was looking for,
yeah.
wanting to meet someone. And I said to her, but mom, they're going to find out.
Mm.
Why don't I just meet a powerful man who wants a powerful woman? That's
Mm.
what I did.
Yes. What did your mom say when you said that?
Okay. She had a belief that men didn't like powerful women.
Yeah.
And
And in that generation, that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was a powerhouse and, deferred to my father all the time. And I said to her, Mom, she was larger than life and
Yeah.
and pure love, but
Yeah.
like you said at the beginning, she would be, oh, don't ever chase a guy and he has to come after
Mm.
you and you have to play this
Yes.
game and that game. And I'm like, yeah, no, no,
No.
mm-mm,
Not anymore.
no,
That was again relevant then, but it's not relevant now.
no.
Okay. Baby. I always love your videos. I have a question: how to change health related issues. Beliefs, especially when your parents talk that a certain condition is in our family, so our genes might have it, and it's scary when you listen to them, especially when you're around your family a lot.
Great question.
Mm.
Love that. So I do a lot of health podcasts,
Yeah.
and I am a big believer in the power of beliefs. And I have a friend whose mother has Alzheimer's, and she always, well, I'll tell you a better one. She always believed she would get it, and she did. My husband was married before me to an actress, and she was wonderful. I loved her, loved her, loved her. And both her parents died at 40, and she believed she would be dead at 40. And it was before we had the process, and she
Ah,
was dead at 40. And
wow.
I think beliefs are very, very powerful. And
Mm.
so in my process, one of the steps that's very, very powerful in getting rid of beliefs, baby, is don't put baby in the corner. That's all I kept thinking. I'm not going to put you in the corner. I'm going to tell you something very powerful. So if you do this, if so your parents tell you it's in the genes, and one interpretation is you're going to get it because it's genetic. Another interpretation is there are millions of people whose parents have diseases that are genetic that they never get. And
Mm.
if you listen to Bruce Lipton, who's a
Mm-hmm.
fight, um, uh, he says that we all have genes, but they get turned on by our beliefs.
Mm.
And so here's what I would say to you. I want you to look at different ways of interpreting what they said. So one interpretation is they said it's true, and it is. Another interpretation is if you stay healthy and take care of yourself, you absolutely do not have to get that. So the question I have is, did you ever see in the world that just because they have it and it's in the genes, you are going to get it?
Mm.
So you can't see that. You can see your parents saying that, but you can't see it's true.
Yes. Yeah.
Evidenced by the fact that it doesn't have a color, shape, or location. We
Yeah.
can't see beliefs. Beliefs are in our minds.
Mm.
And there have been people, as I'm sure you know, who have healed themselves of terminal cancer, who were told you have 6 months to live, and 20 years later, they're still
Mm.
here. And there's no reason why you can't be that person.
Yes. Nice. I love that. That's so, it just makes you stand up and go, yes, I'm not a victim to what happened back then.
And we're going to talk a lot about, if stay with me, because we're going to talk about not being a victim. And I'm going to teach you some way to never be a victim again in your whole life. So stay with us.
Oh, wonderful. Yay. Okay, last question. I rewatched the interview. There's so much gold in it, talking about the first interview I did with you.
Yeah.
She briefly mentioned that procrastination stems from the belief that I won't do a good job. What does she mean, and how can we change this?
Okay. So that's not the belief that I would ever. So, first thing, so now we're going to get into my topic. So I want to make some distinctions for those of you who've never heard me before. So most people don't understand the difference between a pattern and a belief.
Shelly, I've lost you.
So I'm going to make a couple of distinctions for those of you who have never heard me, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about procrastination. So a pattern is either behavioral or emotional. It's what we want to change. Nobody cares about eliminating beliefs. We care about eliminating patterns, right? So an emotional pattern would be I feel anxious all the time, or I feel depressed, or, I feel angry all the time. Those are emotional patterns. Behavioral patterns are I do something I don't want to do, or I don't do something I want to do. Procrastination is a pattern. Not speaking up for yourself is a pattern. Getting in shitty relationships and staying in them, that's a pattern. Not being able to have healthy, functional relationships, that's a pattern. Beliefs. A belief is a statement about reality that we hold as the truth. That's a belief. Beliefs underlie our pattern. So, very often people will say to me, what's the belief under? There's not a belief underlying most patterns, there's a bunch of them.
Okay.
Right? So it's like if you want a clean desk, you have to take everything off the desk. It's not just my water bottle. So
Mm.
the more beliefs you eliminate, if I get rid of the pen and the glasses and the bottle, I have space on this part of my desk, and that's a good thing. But the other things are going to still give me a messy desk. So underlying procrastination are beliefs like, no matter what I do, it will never be good enough. I'm not good enough. Mistakes and failures are bad. If I make a mistake or fail, I'll be rejected. And I want to tell you that you may know these beliefs are not true. I read every business book and I knew mistakes and failures. I know every quote by heart. And until I got rid of the belief mistakes and failures are bad, I was still afraid to make mistakes. So it stopped me from taking risks, from doing things, right? I have a lot of clients who say, I want to post, on social media, or I want to put that video out and I'm just afraid, or I want to launch my course and I just can't press the button. And it's because they're afraid to make mistakes.
Mm,
Other belief is the one I said earlier. What makes me good enough is having other people think well of me.
mm,
And I'm not important. Who am I to do this? So those are the beliefs that underlie procrastination. And when you get rid of them, you stop procrastinating.
mm. I love that. It's that simple, isn't it?
It is. It
It's
really
that
is. It
simple.
really is. Yeah. Um, um,
Mm,
yeah, it really is.
great. Okay, final question from Susan G. I've always struggled with money. I would really love to become a millionaire. I don't know what beliefs I hold that are still hindering me.
Okay. So, everybody listening, I want you to all take a deep breath and I'm going to show you how to see if you have a belief or not. So, I want you to say out loud, money is scarce and hard to get. Now say, you have to work hard to get money. Now say, I don't deserve. Now say, uh, people with a lot of money are bad. It's not okay to have a lot of money. What did my client have yesterday? I just worked with somebody on money. Um, she was cute. She said, I have the Catholic belief. I said, I used to have a list of Catholic beliefs about money. Um, I can't remember, but it was something like, it's not okay to have a lot of money. Yeah. So if any of those beliefs either sound true or don't feel good to say, then those are beliefs you have. And I'm going to tell you all different ways that you can eliminate those beliefs. At the end, I'll give you some
Mm,
resources.
great.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for the questions. So I'm going to hand it over to you because I know you've got a special new book and you've got some treats for us in regards to what you want to share. So you take over, share whatever you want. Go
Oh
ahead.
my goodness. Uh, wow. Um, so the first thing is, there's a saying, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's, um, uh, bad things happen, but suffering is optional. And I'm going to teach you in a little bit how to stop suffering. But I want to talk about the most important thing, first of all. And I love that you're bringing all these different patterns in. We talked about money, talked about, self-esteem, self-worth, relationships, all of that. So the premise of our work is that it is your beliefs about yourself and life and people, most of which are unconscious, that totally determine our behavior, our emotions, and our reality. And, for the most part, if you have a good coach like Agnes will help you and teach you great things. And every once in a while, you get stuck. And she tells you this great thing to do, but you can't just. So Agnes says, don't wait for him. You go and you know, and you introduce yourself and, do some flirting and you have the belief I'm not good enough or I'm not what men want
Mm.
or, I'm not attractive, or whatever your beliefs are, they're going to stop you in your tracks. So, uh, and we all have them. We all have beliefs. If you listen to your mind all day long, you'll hear them. Oh, you can't do that. Or, oh, if you do that, it's not going to turn out anyway. We have that little voice that talks to us all day long. And that's the voice of our beliefs, right? So we come into this world and we don't know if people are good or kind or loving or not to be trusted. We don't know. I had a client yesterday whose parents, his father went bankrupt. He was an entrepreneur, started his own business, and he said to him, a job is safe and secure. If you start your own business, you'll lose everything. And here was this guy who wanted to start his own business so badly and,
Mm.
terrified to do it. And you just get rid of that. I had somebody uh, 10 years ago who got rid of that belief and a few others and called me 10 years later and he said, my business is worth $44 million dollars and I want to buy out my partner. Would you help me? So
Mm.
it's like, if you're running hurdles and you just keep getting the hurdles out of the way, you can just keep running.
Mm.
Um, so we come into this world and we look at our little families, and every child alive asks why. And, I just had a video go viral on Instagram, and it's so interesting because the video says, don't ask why. Why is a crappy question because why is meaning, and meaning is made up. And I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. Ask what, right? Specifically. But kids don't ask what, they ask why. Why are my parents busy all the time? Well, I guess I'm not important.
Mm.
Why are they, why can't I live up to their expectations? Well, I guess I'm not good enough. And because it feels like you're actually seeing your belief in the world,
Mm.
like when I say to people, did you ever see I'm not good enough? They say, yeah, every day of my life. And I say, no, you saw your parents criticize you. You saw failing a subject in school or not doing well in school. You can see events, but you cannot see beliefs.
Mm.
So, and beliefs can stop you. Um, it's interesting. I have a belief I'm not a great writer. And so when I was speaking at Mind Valley oh, no, 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 it was a fest. It was a different event. It was a Mind Valley event. And in Costa Rica, a young, fabulous guy came over to me and he said, I own a law firm and I work with entrepreneurs. And he said, very often they don't listen to me and they say, I know what you're saying is brilliant, but they don't do it. And now I understand what it is. It's beliefs. And he said, this is amazing. He said, I want to write a book with you. And I said, well, I'm not a writer and I don't have time. And he said, that's okay. We'll hire somebody to write our book. And I was like, oh, wow. And we hired this company and we spent hours they spent, hours interviewing me. And then we have my baby hitting the wall, eliminate the beliefs that sabotage your
Mm.
business and your life. But here's the cool thing, okay? I, you put a person in front of me, their life will be transformed. I have zero question about that. But run a business,
Mm.
shoot me in the head. This book is geared to entrepreneurs. So I wrote a book about entrepreneurs. It's
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
We wrote, Vaughn and I. He's a serial entrepreneur. So I talked about the beliefs and he talked about business. But I can
Mm.
talk about business from a point of now, this book is not about business. The process is in here. You can eliminate beliefs in here. It tells you all the beliefs that are responsible for all the different patterns. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's procrastination, it's anger issues, top down, being autonomous, being a perfectionist. So that's all in here. Um, so when we have beliefs, we can't see possibilities. So the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I'm not a writer, I'm a speaker, didn't stop me from writing a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I don't know about business not only didn't stop me from writing a book, it didn't stop me from running a business. So 10 years ago, you guys, my husband died.
Mm.
He ran the business, I did the people, right? And he created a lot of the processes that we do. And I thought to myself, well, I'm going to starve to death because I don't know how to run a business. And I used this process that I'm going to teach you every day to get out of bed and take over the business. And I did, and I've tripled it, and it's thriving, and it's 10 years later. So the fact
Oh.
that I didn't know the difference between a balance sheet and a P&L didn't stop me from doing it.
It's almost like you guinea pigged yourself. You were your own guinea pig for the process of that's
Totally,
fantastic.
totally. And with the support of Rodney, who works with me, we were in the middle of, we have a course called the Occurring Course, and it teaches and practice for 10 weeks what I'm about to teach you. And Morty was in the middle of teaching that course, and people paid a lot of money to be in it. And so Rodney and I took over, and we just led our 39th course. Um,
Fabulous.
and it's the gem. It's a gem.
Mm.
So let me tell you what it
Mm.
is. Okay.
Okay.
So if somebody walks into a room and doesn't speak to you or doesn't say hello, and you know this person, I want everybody to think about what might you automatically think? Anything, just
Ah, that's a good question. I don't really notice those things because I don't need attention from
right.
people.
But let's assume somebody you know doesn't say hello.
Okay, someone I know walks in and doesn't speak to me. I would think, oh, I wonder if they're all right. Maybe they've got something going on in their
Perfect.
lives.
Perfect. So I wonder if they're all right. Some of you, most of you, because Agnes is so special that she came up with that, most of you said, I did something wrong, or they're rude, or they don't like me, or they're mad at me, right? Now, here's the first question. Where did all of those meanings come from? So you said, I wonder if they were all right. Where did that come from, that thought?
From concern
Nope,
about them
nope,
from childhood.
nope.
Okay. From the thought.
It is a thought.
Mm.
Meaning comes from your mind.
Okay.
They don't like me. This is not going to work out. I'm going to lose this account. They're not going to hire me.
Mm.
My husband's having an affair. He didn't kiss me hello.
Mm.
All meaning. We give meaning to everything
Everything.
all day long.
Mm.
Meaning comes from your mind. Okay? If meaning is in your mind, do events have inherent meaning?
No.
No. So everybody listening, I know your brains all exploded. I'm going to explain. Events have no meaning. That
Mm.
is not to say they don't matter. That's not to say it's no big deal. I'm not minimizing anything, but I work with sexual abuse survivors, and I get them to see what happened to them was terrible. I hate that it happened. I wish it didn't happen. I'm not minimizing it, but it does not mean all men can't be trusted, or I'm damaged goods, or I'm worthless, or I'm powerless. Now, those
Mm.
are all beliefs that I work on with them. But at the end of the session, I say, what does it mean? What do I know for sure? Because that's what meaning is. Oh, they didn't ask me to play with them. That means something, right? The meanings we give events cause all of our feelings. So I'm going to say that again. All of our feelings come from the meaning you give meaningless events.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. My husband died. He was he was an angel. Okay, he was an amazing human being who cared nothing but about people and people's freedom and well-being. He was loving and kind and the best father on the planet, the best husband on the planet, the best person. I had 33, 34 exquisite years with him. I was devastated when he died. So I grieved, and that's healthy. But the first day I didn't want to get out of bed, I stopped and asked, what happened? So this is the process I'm going to teach you. What happened? Morty died. What meaning did I give it? I'm going to starve to death. I don't know how to run a business.
Mm.
Well, it could mean that, but what else could it mean? It could mean I'm going to step up and figure it out,
Mm.
which of course I did. But the fact that he died doesn't mean anything. We don't know anything for sure other than that. So again, it's not that it doesn't matter. It's not that he didn't cry, but it doesn't mean anything.
Mm.
Next day, I don't want to get out of bed. What happened? Morty died. What meaning did I give it? What meaning did I give it that's having me not want to get out of bed? Okay. So we're
Mm.
looking at the meaning that's causing the behavior. I'll never be happy again.
Mm.
Could mean that. And it could mean that I'm going to create a new life, right? And I am going to be happy. It's going to take time. I found pickleball. I am obsessed. I have a lot of friends. Now I have a whole new community of pickleball players that I love. Um, my girlfriend, Marcy Shimoff, who some of you know,
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, she said, I'm going to make sure that she wrote a book called Happy for No Reason. And she said, I'm going to make sure that you're happy for every reason. And
Mm.
she called me up and she said, we're going to see Diana Ross. And then a few weeks later, she called me and she said, we're going to see the Beach Boys. And a few weeks later, she said, we're going to see Trevor Noah and we're going to laugh. And we did. And
Mm.
before I know it, 10 years have passed and I'm happy. Now, do I miss him? Of course I miss him. Now, next day, what happened? Morty died. What meaning did you give it that you don't want to get out of bed? I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. Well, maybe could mean I have a whole second new act. But the fact that he died doesn't mean I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. We don't know that, right? So I haven't met my guy yet, but now that it's 10 years, I'm ready and he's on his way. So whether, no matter what happens, here's here's the juice. Anytime you have a negative emotion, stop and ask yourself, what just happened? what meaning did I give what just happened? Come up with one other possible way of interpreting the events, one other meaning, and then get the meanings in your mind. It's not in the events.
Mm.
And the feeling will go away. So you're not a victim. Nobody can
Yeah.
make you feel anything. Nobody can
Mm.
do anything to you. You'll never be a victim again. Now, that's a practice.
Yeah.
If you eliminate the beliefs that are causing you to give that meaning, it will stop coming up. You'll
Mm.
stop giving it, and you don't have to do anything. So that's like the easy way out. But even after you, like, I've eliminated a lot of beliefs, and I'm very free and I'm very authentic, but every once in a while, you know, I asked my friend, if you need a sub for your pickleball game, let me know. And I was at open play, and I turn around and I see another person in her, because I know who her group is, that is playing, and she didn't ask me. And I started to go down the rabbit hole of, oh God, I don't play well enough, or she doesn't like me, and I just looked at it and I went, I don't know anything for sure because that happened. You know,
Mm.
maybe somebody else, which was true, somebody else asked the other person, not my
Mm-hmm.
friend. But the fact that they did that didn't mean they'd never ask me. It didn't mean I wasn't a good player. It didn't mean she didn't like me. The events have no meaning. Now, that doesn't mean you have to, that's not to say you don't have preferences, right? So if somebody's cheating on you, that doesn't mean they don't love you. People have beliefs that make them
Mm.
cheat. But why would you want to be with somebody who's cheating on you, right?
Mm.
So it's
Mm.
not that you don't have preferences. You do.
Yeah.
And it's not that you should tolerate things. If somebody's being mean or treating me badly, again, it doesn't mean they
Mm.
hate me or they don't like me or they think I'm a bad person or I did something wrong. When you get rid of the meaning and the emotion goes away, now you could just say to them, you know what? I don't like being treated that way. It's
Mm.
okay.
Yeah. Shelley, this is one of the most empowering things you can do and the greatest gifts that you can give to the people around you, because when you get hit by something through your misinterpretation or giving the wrong meaning or a meaning that causes you pain,
Yes.
and you go, hang on a minute, I don't have to do that anymore, and you focus your way out of it, and you don't have to speak to them about it. I mean, the amount of conversations that are avoided because you took full responsibility in that moment. And it's not saying you snap out of it in 30 seconds, but you move in that direction. I mean, wow, what a
But you
gift.
do snap out of it. The emotion will go away. If
Mm.
you give meaning to something that's making you sad, uh, somebody doesn't say hello and you say, well, I don't matter to them.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't care about me. And you feel shitty. And then you go, well, it could mean that. And it could mean they're distracted. And it could
yes.
mean that they have something going on in their lives. And it could mean there's some misunderstanding.
Mm. Yeah,
I broke up with a guy because I thought he said something, and I met him years later, and he said, "That's not what I said. I said this." And I went, "Oh my God."
yes,
It
yeah.
was like,
Using the pickleball and the other person getting picked and then you having a thought, how quick were you to go through that process? And obviously you're still moving around, observing, doing whatever, and everybody's around you. How long did that process take where you didn't think they picked her, she's more important, I mustn't be good enough, whatever? How long did that take?
well, for me, I
Yes.
led the course that teaches you how to do this, and we have
Yes.
all different techniques to
Mm.
do it. I'm giving
Mm.
you the one that I use the most.
Yes.
Um, 29 times I've led a 10-week course.
Yeah.
So, and I practiced and practiced. So for me, it's almost automatic.
Fabulous.
I don't even have to do the process anymore. I just don't give meaning.
Yeah.
However, a lot of times with my family, my
Yeah.
girls, I
Yeah.
get hooked.
Yeah.
That's where I get hooked.
Yeah.
And I was just in Savannah for 5 days for my best friend of 60 years, 80th birthday. And my two girls were there because they're her goddaughters. And I have a daughter in Hawaii and a daughter in Utah. And we had a couple of bumps, where I triggered them and I got defensive. And I really looked at the meaning that I was giving, and the meaning is I'm such a great mother. I don't deserve to be talked to like that. Or, she doesn't appreciate me.
Mm.
So, whatever the meaning I'm giving in the moment. And so I just close my eyes and I say, well, it could mean that. And it could mean, that she disagrees with me. And it could mean that I plugged her in from something from childhood.
Mm.
It could mean she has a belief. But the fact that she just said what she said to me has no inherent meaning. I don't know anything for sure because she
Yeah.
said that. The meaning's in
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah.
And then the emotion goes away. And it's usually pretty quick. It's
It's
minutes.
so empowering, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's the
Wow.
best. It's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's when we do the course at number 10, Rodney, who works for me, is very he's not emotional, he's very pragmatic and practical, and he's my compliment
Yes.
because I'm the opposite. Um, at number 10, the two of us cry. I mean, because people say, I don't fight with my spouse anymore or my partner.
Mm.
I don't yell at my kids anymore. I'm going to tell you one last thing about this and we can go on. For those of you listening who are parents or will become parents, this is a story that I hope you never forget. My 14, we moved from Connecticut to California. My daughter was just starting high school. She was 14 years old. And she walks into the house, and of course, 14, very hormonal, right? And she says something to Morty. I don't remember what she said, and he said something. And she looks at him and she goes, oh my God, you're being such a dick. And I went like, my husband was an angel. We should all have a parent like my husband.
Yeah.
So I got, and she walks to her room and she slams the door. And I get up off my chair and my husband says, Shelly, it's a word, relax. He goes to the door of her room and he says, sorry.
Mm.
Yeah. He says, I hear a teenager who loves her father and is not in touch with it at this moment.
Whew. That's huge.
She throws her sneaker at the door, and we hear laughing and crying. And she comes out and she goes, oh, Daddy, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I said that to you. I had the worst day. I'm so sorry. And she's crying and he holds her. He said, it's okay, sweetie. It's okay. Just breathe. Tell me what happened. From that day to the day he died, they never had another argument. And his
Wow.
greatest accomplishment in this life was not all his major accomplishments. It was that his teenage daughter held his hand in public.
Mm.
Because
Beautiful.
he didn't give it the meaning, everybody,
Yeah.
she doesn't respect me.
Yes.
Because as parents, that's what we say. Don't you
Mm.
dare talk to me that way.
Yeah.
Give it the meaning they don't respect me, as opposed to you must have had a really shitty day to talk to me that way.
What a absolutely elevated, mature, and regulated response.
Right? I
Wow.
just stood there, Agnes. I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And you wanting to defend, and understandably so.
Oh my God. I was going to go, him? That you're talking to him like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Wow.
he didn't give it
Beautiful.
meaning. Yeah.
Beautiful. What a moment. Because it not only was a moment for the three of you, it's a moment that keeps on giving as you share it with everybody. Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Oh,
So remember, anytime you have a negative emotion, you get scared, oh God, fear is always a real or imagined threat to your survival,
mm,
of which there rarely is. So if you
mm,
feel anxious, you just go, what happened? Um, uh, the guy didn't call me back.
mm.
He hasn't texted me in 40 minutes.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
meaning am I giving it?
Yeah.
He doesn't like me or he's
Yeah.
ghosting me.
Yeah.
Well, it could mean that, and it could, I actually screwed up the one guy that I think I could have been with. Um, I met him at a party and we went out to dinner and we had an amazing connection. And then COVID happened. And we were on the phone and we had this really amazing conversation. I mean, it was like, it was so, I don't know. And it wasn't sex thing. It was just, but it was really hot and
Mm.
deep and connected. And then he didn't call. And I thought, oh my God, what an asshole. And I can't believe it. And, and maybe he's scared of relationships. And I just went, and so I waited and waited. And then a couple of days later, I texted him, but this text was like, you know, edgy, or I don't even remember what I said. But he called me and he said, after we talked, I got a call that my favorite aunt was very, very sick. And I flew to whatever. And, he said, I wish you had asked me.
Mm.
And it went off the rails from there. But it was, and of course it was COVID and he was nervous and, so it just did never happened. But I really learned a lesson that I gave the fact that he didn't call meaning, and in fact, it had nothing to do with me. So that's when
Yeah.
you want to use it. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything. We don't know anything. You could call the person or text them and say, gee, I thought we had a connection.
Yes.
Once you get rid of, and for most of us, because we haven't gotten rid of our self-esteem beliefs, we
Mm-hmm.
automatically go down the I'm not good enough tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm not what men want, or, you know, I'm not whatever.
Yeah.
We have a program called Natural Confidence. And if you're somebody who likes to do things on your own and you're not a procrastinator, if you're a procrastinator, don't buy it because you won't do it. But it's very inexpensive. We made it for people who, can't do sessions for whatever reason. And it has 19 of the most common self-esteem beliefs. I'm not good enough. I'm not important. Mistakes and failures are bad. I'm not worthy. If I make a mistake or fail, I'll be rejected. Um, I'm not, all kinds of things. So it's a great program. And if you go to recreateyourlife.com, um, you can get it.
Mm.
Oh, I'm
Have you?
sorry. Can I
Shelley,
give you a different one? Can we cut that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to eliminatebeliefs.com.
Okay.
Eliminatebeliefs.com. Yeah.
Okay. Have you still got on your recreateyourlife.com the because I remember I sent so many people there because you had those
To
three.
eliminate a belief for free.
Yeah, you
Yes.
had those three that you could take people through
Yes.
those. You still got
Yes.
those? What
Yes.
were the three that people could test it out with? It was I'm
Yes.
not a
I'm
priority.
not good enough.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough, which everybody has. So
Yeah.
everybody, if you think you don't have it, you have it. Just go do it.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. Mistakes and failures are bad, and I think I'm not important.
I'm not important. Not I'm not a priority. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shelly, they were so good. And I
yeah,
think it gives people a taste of what you do and how you do it.
yeah.
And I think that was why so many of the viewers on this channel moved over to you, because they loved those three things. And I think it's so nice to go to a website and someone's actually really giving. To me,
Yes,
I so don't see that very often. And that's why I kept sending people to that, because I said, these two people, Morty, even though he's not physically here, his work is still alive. And you
yes,
are, you're doing the relay. You've done it together. Now you're taking it on. And I so loved that. And I
yeah,
still to this day send people to that.
yeah. And thank you for that because I've gotten lots of clients from you. And I will
Good.
say to you, um, Agnes, it's interesting because when I do these calls, you know, people always say to me, "Well, you don't sell. You're not. This is how you
Mm.
do it." And I forget that,
Yeah.
that's I want to make a contribution, as did my husband. And
Yeah.
that's why, I mean, most people are not going to take the occurring course,
Mhm.
but I have nothing to gain by giving you this technique.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
want you to have it because I'm
Yes.
committed to people being free and
Yes.
not being victims. And, not everybody can afford to,
That's right.
to
Yeah.
have sessions, and not every, but I want people to listen to this and say, I could take back my life in any
Mm.
moment.
Yeah.
That is powerful.
It
And
is.
women, I know that this is a big, female audience. Women have to know more than anything, they have to have a voice. They have to
Mm.
be heard. They have to be strong. When I look at what's happening in my country, in America, we need women leaders desperately. We need women leaders who the first answer to something isn't, well, let's kill, let's go to war. Let's,
Yeah.
that's not how we deal. We say, listen, let's work this out. Let's, you know, get together and talk about it.
Mm.
And and as women, whatever field you're in, your voice needs to be heard. And getting rid of beliefs will be a game changer for you. It just will. You
Yeah.
know, um, you don't have to sit in therapy for the rest of your life.
Mm.
You just get to, what's the stop for me?
Yeah.
Where do I get stuck? And
Mm.
it could be money, and it could be self-esteem, and it could be, beliefs about, you have to work hard to be
Mm.
successful, or, entrepreneurship is, um, uh, dangerous or not safe. It could be relationship beliefs. If your parents had a shitty relationship or fought all the time, you might have the belief relationships don't work. Uh,
Yeah.
Men have all the power. Uh,
Hmm.
and I'll give you one last nugget. Anytime you're angry, underlying anger is powerlessness.
Mm.
Because if you could do something about whatever it is you're upset about, you would do
Mm.
it. We get angry because we feel powerless.
Mm.
And when you get rid of the belief, I'm powerless, it's a
Mm.
game changer. And
Mm.
again, with my sexual abuse survivors, I'm powerless is a big part of what
Mm.
they conclude. I worked with a man, he was a psychiatrist, and he never had a healthy relationship with a woman. And his mother incested him and beat him and locked him in a closet while she went to church. And he had beliefs, women are
Yeah.
women are dangerous and women have power and I'm worthless and I'm damaged goods and um, I, I'm nothing and
Mm.
he got rid of all those beliefs. And the first time I said to him, you know, what does it mean? It's horrible what happened. I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody, but what meaning does it have? And when he really got the events have no meaning, I don't know anything for sure, he stopped
Yes.
defining himself by something that happened 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Met a woman, got married, invited me to the wedding. I have
Beautiful.
a lot of stories like that.
Oh, so
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
That is the most satisfying thing, to see people be free of what shackles them.
totally. I had a
Yeah.
client who was getting divorced, and she said to me, I'm afraid that my kid who was in college is not doing well with this. Can you talk to her? And I said, sure. So she brought her a session, and she gets on, and I look at her, and I said, what happened? She looks at me, and I said, something happened. I could see in her face. Her face
Yeah.
was all scrunched. She was date raped a year and a half ago, and her mother didn't know.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
she was miserable and unhappy, and by
Mm.
the end of the session, she was laughing, and she wasn't going to spend the rest of her life defining herself by what
Mm.
happened one night. Somebody did something to her that she wouldn't have
Yeah.
liked him to do, and that's all
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fabulous. Oh, so good to talk to you again. It
you
really
too.
is just, I still always love the stories. I just love the
Ah,
stories
thanks.
because it shows you how it works. It shows you it in action, in situation. And I think that's what people relate to. So
Yeah, yeah.
thank you for sharing them.
Yeah, last thing I want to say is a lot
Yeah.
of people have a fear of, and then I'm going to go to, but a lot of people have a fear of public speaking, right?
Yes.
And it's so funny because I work with CEOs who come to me and say, one guy said to me, I have 1,100 employees, and every time I go out to speak, I'm a nervous wreck. And I said, you do know that when you walk out on the stage, they're nervous wrecks, right?
Yeah.
He said, yes, I do. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And the natural confidence beliefs are the same beliefs that are underlie fear of public speaking, procrastination. So you do not have to live at the effect of your problems. So remember two things. A, get rid of your beliefs, and I promise you, you will feel freedom you never knew existed. And dissolve. Again, anytime you have a negative emotion, stop and ask yourself, what happened? What meaning did I give what just happened?
Mm.
What else could it mean? And then get the event has no meaning. The meaning is in your mind. It is
Mm.
not in the event.
Yes.
And the emotion will go away, I promise.
Wonderful. So great.
It was so good to see you.
You too. Honestly, it's like two halves of a walnut. We were together, now we're together again, and it's come full circle.
Yeah.
Shelley, where can people find your book?
Oh, the book is on Amazon,
Amazon?
and any bookstore. Well,
Okay.
I don't know if it's in any bookstore anymore, but
Yeah. Is it
Amazon
on your
for sure.
website as well or not?
I think so.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I will put down below in the description Shelley and I for our first interview, and I will put the links down to her
Yeah.
website, the two that she mentioned, and I will also put the link down to Amazon. I'll put Amazon US and I will put Amazon UK. I'll put both.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are not able to be purchasing from those particular Amazons, then look up Amazon in your country.
Yeah. Recreate your life. Sorry. Instead of recreateyourlife.com, go to
Yeah.
eliminatebeliefs.com. Let's put that
Okay.
one. And then Lefkoe, Lef is in Frank, Koe, lefkoeinstitute.com if you want any information about our work, a session,
Great.
anything like that. Yeah.
Fabulous. anything you want to say just as a something that
No,
popped into your
thank
head?
you. What I want to say is thank you for spending your time listening to me with all the noise out there that you chose me to listen to means everything to me. And I appreciate it. And Agnes, I love you. I just think you're amazing. Amazing what you've created in the past years since we've talked. I was saying that you had a small following back then, and now
Yeah,
you've just exploded. And yeah, I just
yeah.
think you're the best.
Oh, thank you, Shelley. I was so looking forward to this because it was like, a reunion
Yeah,
after all this.
totally, totally. And I loved talking to you at the beginning. It was
Yes,
awesome.
we had a good chat before. Well,
Okay.
everyone, thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you for joining us. If you made it this far, all the information is down below in the description for you. And as per usual, I will see you in the next YouTube. Shelley, stay on and we'll say goodbye in private.
Okay. Hold on. I have a